mention that without Lowndes County, it would not have been a march. And this is something that I learned from attending Alabama State University's programs. Before the march could take place, an arrangement had to be made for the people to stop. You're in front of the courthouse, and then look backwards. Bill Calloway markers to the backside there. The Elmo Bolden Initiative and the Lowndes County Friends of the Civil Rights Movement worked together to get this one done. And I've had a lot of people to object to where it's placed, but they say it's placed where nobody can see it.
When I read this, and it talks about how the courts or the grand jury refused to indict, to hold folks accountable, we talk about how this hate is interwoven in like our social institutions, how it's interwoven in our criminal justice system, how it's interwoven in our healthcare system, how it's interwoven in our education system, and how because of that, it disproportionately continues to this day to impact Black and brown folks.
That is the store where he was actually murdered. You see a green building down there. There's a marker there, and that's where we placed the marker where he actually was murdered, at that store when he went to get something cold to drink. At this service station across the street, there was a large, big noise going on, and he was called to come out to quell the noise. And when he came out, he was not in uniform, but everybody knew Big John because he was the first not the first black sheriff, but he was the sheriff here in this town. And so when he was trying to quell the noise, a white young man shot him in the head. This whole town, white and black, loved Big John Williams. So it was a unanimous vote to name this courthouse Big John Williams Courthouse. So that's how I got his name. Now the building back here where we're going is where they actually lived, slept, ate, and of course there was no inside toilets, so one of the rooms was the outhouse inside our house.
Upon first observing this sculpture, I was confused. I didn't know what it was. And I thought it had something to do with cotton, but then, we had to read about it to understand these are the chassis to cars. And so then you think about, well, why would you have a monument to cars and chassis? But when talking to SNCC folks, part of the indoctrination or part of the orientation, particularly when you came to rural areas, was how to drive defensively, but how to escape pursuit. And it wasn't theoretical. It wasn't something that they taught you just in case. It was going to happen.
The reason this town survived was when the Yankees came. Someone told the Yankees that the people in this town had smallpox. So they did not come. We'll be at the school shortly, but if you still look around at the houses with the columns, the churches, all of these were built in the 1800s.
Values is a grassroots communications organization that believes in the power of narrative and messaging to build equitable power structures in our communities, and also to just build ideological power in communities who are often told that their voice doesn't matter, that their dreams don't matter.
It's going to take like small conversations like these to kind of not talk to them about the importance of voting and getting out the vote, but also listening and talking with them.
Then why are they in office? Just because they're black? That's not enough. That should not be enough. And I know historically we've all been fighting to get black representation, but black representation today doesn't represent us.
History gives us receipts of what this means. So when we see this, so I want to tie in that history, it's not even history repeating itself. History is continuing. It's not even history. It is now. It is present day.
We thought somebody was chasing us because we had gotten out of another beige car when we left down to Selma, and somebody shot the car up, so we had changed cars. Stoker thought somebody was chasing him to shoot at him. So he ended up stopping his car and saying, I'm tired of running from these, and he called a name. And he told the man, the crew in the back to sit down, lay down. He told me to move and get down. And he reaches under my legs and pulls out a shotgun. The baby knows he's dying. He said, I'm tired of running. He jumps out the car with the shotgun, and we're down on the floor, me and the crew, TV crew. And so he says, it ends up being his men calling him, telling him, the guy whose daughter had integrated a school, the white people, he's wanted to vote that day, and they split his skull, they beat him.